What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 6 different crypto stocks today. 5 of which are going to be crypto mining stocks, one of which is going to be Coinbase, the crypto exchange. CleanSpark, Marathon, IREN, Coinbase, BTBT, and Riot. At the request of Cow and Navi, this video is for you guys. Hit that like button if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. Let's get into it. CleanSpark at $11.72. Having a nice week so far. We've got one more day left in the week. A lot of volume coming in here. Yes, certainly above average volume that we haven't seen since July, man. Since we were up here, right? Right around the time that we moved down, actually. I definitely am expecting this move to take us somewhere in this zone here. I don't believe that we're going to just clear straight through it. I would love it if we did. That's totally fine. That is in the behavior. That's definitely the behavior that CleanSpark portrays. But if we take a high to a low here, we can see that we have a nice golden ratio zone, our 618, 69 level between $16 and $17.50 essentially, right in the heart of this consolidation phase. I wouldn't be surprised if we found turbulence there. You might find a little bit of resistance, come back, find support at the areas that you found support on before, maybe even as low as the 382, and then continue to move up afterwards, right? So certainly at the pace that we're at now, I would expect maybe even by the end of this month, we could be up at this area, if not sometime in November. It depends on how long we consolidate for, but that end of the year breakout could take us to new highs relative to this, or it might be sometime earlier next year, sometime in January, February, that we're up in these areas. But I do still expect that one way or another, if it's not by the end of this year, then certainly by the end of this move, I would expect that CleanSpark is at about $50 to $33, right? Somewhere in that range. Definitely, I would expect this $30, $35 area to be achieved by the end of this year, more so than this $50 area. But I still think that there's a good chance that we could see that by the end of the year. So it just depends. It really does depend on how fast CleanSpark wants to move up, how much resistance and turbulence we find along the way. This thing does, whenever it wants to move up, it does so pretty fast. But to go all the way up here, right, that would be a very, especially by the end of the year, that kind of look right there that we have, that would be a very strong move. That'd be a very, very strong move compared to anything else we've seen, right? Anything close to this was right here, right? Overall, it was this right here. But there was turbulence along the way, significant turbulence there. So I would expect that we find something like this of a correction right here once we hit somewhere in this zone, right? Probably the midway point a little bit higher, maybe something around $18, $19. Again, actually, if we're looking at the fibs, maybe something around 16 to 17.50. If we do go above this, that's fine. I don't think that we're just going to tear straight through it. I would expect that even if we do cut through the 61869, we find resistance somewhere up here, previous areas of resistance and all, consolidate and then move up higher, right? So definitely not, I don't expect it to be a clean shot, but I do expect we're going to move up there. We're at 1172 now, so let the good times roll. We're definitely going to see some gains over the coming days and over the coming weeks. That's my expectation. Just got overbought. Yeah, man, I think it's on, really. We are at a point of resistance right now. We are at a point right now of resistance. We could see some momentary turbulence. We could pull back a little bit. But don't be surprised, man, right? We could pull back like here and then shoot straight up. We might just shoot straight up anyways. It's hard to say, but don't get discouraged. Any kind of pullback from here is going to be insignificant compared to the amount of gains we have over the coming days, so coming weeks. Definitely expect higher things for CleanSpark in a very short amount of time. So that's that. Let's talk about, oh yeah, you wanted me to go over, Cal wanted me to go over, oh no, that was in a different video. Never mind, I'm sorry. Marathon's the next one. Let's see, $18 right now. Weekly RSI looking fine overall, right? Looking a little productive, relatively speaking. Definitely in a weaker spot right now, but relatively neutral. It does look, just based off of this little momentary trend that you're in right now, that you would continue moving up higher, right? If you were to find any resistance, it would at least probably be a little bit higher. So that's good for the momentary price action. I don't think that you're going to go lower. I definitely don't think. I think that's your low. I think that soon enough you will break out of this consolidation phase. It's just when is really the question to ask, right? So probably at the same time that Marathon breaks out of its consolidation phase. You're at $18 now from a relative high to the low of this phase here. Reaching up for the 382. You already went there, pulled back. Yeah, I don't know, man. In the same time that I would expect CleanSpark to go anywhere from like 16 to 20 bucks, something like that, right? We might see Marathon move to like 24 to 30 bucks, something like that. Yeah. And then again, by the end of the year, $43 to $58 is still on the table, but it might be something earlier next year instead of late this year that we see those prices, right? Again, late this year could be more this, early next year could be more this, right? I definitely do think that we're going to see this 1618 by the end of this move. It's just how long does it take to form is the question. I don't think for Clean Spark or for Marathon or really for any of these stocks that we're going to go over today, I don't think their next move up is their last move up. I'm just talking about their next move up, right? So don't get that confused with anything that I'm saying. Don't get that confused with me saying cycle highs, because I'm not talking about cycle highs. I'm just talking about the next high here, right? IREN is the next one that we're talking about. Very nice structure, right? We take the highs, we take the lows. It's a very positive trajectory there. Bullish structure indeed. Volume coming in. It just looks so good, man. This could be, and I caught on kind of late, but I caught on here, right around here, where I was thinking that IREN could be the top performer of the crypto mining stocks. It really stands a chance. I've started to shift that way more, especially with this move here and just coming down. But I really started to see IREN for what it was worth back on the beginnings of this move here. And I think that it will continue to grow. This next move, however, I expect it to take IREN somewhere around its all-time highs. Okay. That's my personal expectation. Let me tell you why, right? So if we're looking at this for what it is, again, you've got your like ascending trend line, you've got your ascending trend line here, right, for support, resistance, whatever. If this keeps going on, just roughly drawing it with the eye here, maybe you move up to this, right, by the end of the year, something like that, and that area right there is right at your all-time highs. It would make sense that you find resistance at your all-time highs, consolidate for a little bit, and then the next attempt you break out, and that might be your cycle finale finisher move, right? And that lines up with what I was saying before I got to this stock in the video, which is that I don't think this next high is going to be the last high. I just think it's going to be the next high. The cycle high very well could be the next high after the coming high here, and that would make sense for IREN, I think, because the next high, based off of what we've done so far, right? You take this high to low here. High to low here, you didn't even hit your 1272, but you moved up to your 1618 based off of that there. You take this high to low here, moved up to your 1414. So 1414, 1618 showing a little bit of significance there. From a high to a low, if we went to the 1618, that's at $23 to $28.50. $23, $28.50, like literally right there, man. Like that, the 1618 is right there at your all-time high. The 1414 just below it. I would bet, not just based on the all-time high, but based on these very significant fibs and based off of the trend line that you're experiencing right now, right? I bet that you find resistance in this area as you have before, and then pull back, consolidate, maybe consolidate at the tops of this area, consolidate around there, and then break out and see your cycle finale finishing stuff toward the middle / the end, or the second half, I should say, of 2025. A little bit of a roadmap there, but in the meantime, we are looking for prices to move up. Definitely looking for prices to move up. Weekly RSI looks very bullish. Daily RSI looks very bullish. My guess, I guess, if I just had to say, is I think we're on a path right now that's going to take us to its all-time high area, somewhere between like $23, let's say $25 and $30, somewhere up there by the end of this year. That's kind of my expectation. So that's IREN. Coin is the next one that we're going to talk about. Coinbase here, Coinbase Global. They say Coinbase Global, but I mean, I guess they are popular around the world. They are one of the most popular exchanges, but I feel like globally most people use Binance or KuCoin or other exchanges. US, the United States, they use Coinbase, so it should be Coinbase North America. I don't know. $204 right now. Looking like it wants to move up. Definitely consolidated for a long time. It looks like it's in the beginning, kind of like it's breaking out here. Like this week does look like a breakout to me, and with that volume too. So I would say yes, you're commencing your next move from a high to a low. Next move would take you to 339, 426, 427. Kind of the same situation as IREN. You're looking at your all-time high area for your next point of resistance. So that looks fine to me, man. Yeah, 204 right now, 339 to 426 by the end of the year, maybe at the current pace that you're on and that you like to promote whenever you do move up. I could see that happening definitely. But if not by the end of the year, if you're not up in this zone, 339 to 426 by the end of this year, certainly very early next year, I would expect that you're there. But that's where you're going. ultimately. Okay, that's where you're going. And again, I very much do believe you'll see this by the end of the year. I do. Could you go higher? Sure, absolutely, you could. I mean, you did last time, didn't you? Take this high to low right here. I mean, you went right up to your 200 level, pulled back, went all the way up to your 2886 level. Maybe I should take this fib, right? High to low here. Went right up to your 1272, 1414, found resistance there, pulled up, went all the way to your 1618. This is actually a little bit more significant. This might not be an appropriate fib to base this move off of, to be completely fair, but these moves might be more appropriate to base it off of. High to low, right up to the 1414. High to low, right up to your 200 level. High to low. Pretty deep extensions still, so you know this is a bigger retracement range right now than most of these moves that we just measured. So I don't believe that you'll see these deeper extensions. You have a couple times throughout these moves here, but I really do like this 427, 339 area. That's personally what I would be expecting to happen for Coinbase. Yes, by the end of this year. Again, okay, so that's that. Looking at BTBT now. Navi, you were saying that it had to move up recently, right? Let's see. Yeah, man, 22% this week. Nice, moving up. Yeah, it's had a couple of nice days there. There we go, nice. Daily RSI looks very bullish. Yeah, you want me to do it versus MicroStrategy as well, so I will do that. We'll do BTBT versus MicroStrategy here. Overbought on the daily. I like it, man. I think you do continue. You look good. Volume's good. Move looks good. You're right at the flat shelf here. I'm a little bit surprised that you had such a bullish finish. Not today, not on Thursday, but the day before Wednesday. I'm surprised you had such a bullish finish on this day and then you didn't proceed immediately. That's a little bit concerning. I'm not going to lie. That is a little bit concerning. You actually had a green day today, didn't you? Or it says green, but it's actually a red day, negative 0.26, sorry. What's the 3 hour look like? 3 hour looks fine. You need some follow through, man. You need some follow through today. Like to end this week, you need to crack this egg open. You need to break through this barrier. Like if you don't, you're going to come back down, and that's okay. You'll break it the next time, but just would you rather go up now or would you rather go up later? Everybody wants to see it happen sooner than later, so if you don't, if by Friday you're still not cracking this egg, if you move down at all tomorrow, I would say you're probably going to move down to $3.20, $3.15, somewhere in there. And then we can talk about breaking out the next week or something like that. Hard to say. I want to say it's going to move up. And regardless if it moves down from here first and then moves up, it is going to move up. So let's just project out what it would look like if it was to move up from a high to a low of this consolidation range, which again, I think if you broke this consolidation phase, that would probably lead to a greater breakout of this overall consolidation phase you've been in for a while now. So I think the next move up, what you're in the middle of right now, would be to $7.10, $10.38. You're at 388. Certainly by the end of the year, I think you could hit these levels. Absolutely, you could see deeper targets than that. This thing has been coiled up for a while. Very bullish looking weekly RSI. I think it's going to let loose the goose when it's time, man. I really do. Certainly $7 to $10.50 by the end of the year, I think, is on the table, if not more. Yeah. It just depends when it wants to start. Is it now? Is it going to be this week? Are we going to move up tomorrow? Or are we going to find resistance here, and then next week we come to find support, move up again, and then maybe the following week we start to break out. I don't know, sometime in like late October, early November. We'll know more tomorrow. Navi, you're the one that requested this one. I will, we talk about BTBT. We'll know more by the next time that I do a mining stock video. Let's compare BTBT to MicroStrategy now, because that was part of the request. BTBT-MSTR, MicroStrategy, BTBT, enter. All right, so this is BTBT priced out in MicroStrategy. In other words, right, like if you're holding BTBT, it's losing value in comparison to MicroStrategy. They both could be moving up. This chart would just mean that MicroStrategy is moving up faster, essentially, right? They both could be moving down, and this chart could be moving up, right? They both could be moving down. This just means MicroStrategy is moving down faster, right? It's not about if they're actually gaining value or losing value versus the dollar. It's just versus themselves. You're at 0.02 MicroStrategies per BTBT right now. Looking at the monthly RSI, it doesn't look the hottest, but that's okay. Weekly RSI, pretty bad still, to be completely fair. But finding support above the oversold zone instead of in it is a little bit of a bullish thing. Getting a bullish engulfing week here is a bullish thing as well. So yeah, this could be this Navi. This could be a turnaround point. Yes, where MSTR starts to underperform compared to BTBT. Yeah, it could be right now. Absolutely. We've seen it happen before. It could. And if it were, I don't think that BTBT is going to soar versus MicroStrategy and see new all-time highs versus it. I would expect something probably above this high, but below this high. So this is free range up in here, right? By the way, that's 6.9. That's about a 10x gain from where you are now, right there, the 6.9. That's on like the lower end of the expected spectrum here. So, yeah, looking good. Definitely looking good. Ooh. Maybe not as much of an ooh as I thought. Okay, never mind. I thought that you broke this trend, but really it was this high that was deceiving it, right? Because it looks from here like you did break it, but I would say you need to get above the 60. With the way this looks, it wouldn't surprise me if you moved up a little bit more versus MicroStrategy and then found turbulence. But yes, overall, I think you have found your low. Again, maybe you move up a little bit more, find turbulence, and then continue to move up afterwards or something like that. I do think that you're ready to commence this move. It's just maybe not today, maybe not this week, but sometime very soon. Yes, I feel confident this is the low. I do feel confident that as the weeks, as the months go by, whether you have a red one here or there for the weeks, I would bet the months do start to consistently close green versus MicroStrategy. So there's that. Let's talk about Riot and finish this bad boy up. Riot, at the request of Cow here, looking at it. Ooh, is this an abandoned baby? That's an actual pattern, you guys. Okay, I'm not making that up. This kind of looks like an abandoned baby, actually, on a monthly. We have 14 days left in this month. Let's look it up real quick so you guys know what I'm talking about. The screen is about to get real bright, you guys. Oh, maybe not that bright. Let's see. Oh, my screen was dim. That's why. There we go. It's the white screen of death here, man. I can feel it in my retinas. Can you? You sitting in your bed right now, just letting this burn your retinas? You got your brightness turned all the way up. Why do you do that? Why not turn it down? Be easy on yourself. Be easy on your... Anyways, abandoned baby. Back to business here. Abandoned baby bullish. Boom. Right? Red candle coming down. Big candle. Doji candle at the bottom. Little gap in between both ways. I mean, besides the gap, we got a gap over here, but besides the gap, it's almost perfect, like really. And maybe it's not, I don't know, maybe it's not an abandoned baby, but it's something else, but still bullish in the look nonetheless. I don't know if it is an abandoned baby or not, but that was just the first thought that came to my mind. It kind of has this look to it, kind of. Let's see if he gives a diagram like that. I don't know, kind of. Definitely, that looks more like an abandoned baby, I guess, than what I've got going on, but still close enough. I don't know. Anyways, I like the monthly look, I suppose. The weekly is better than it is worse. It's not my favorite looking RSI. Daily RSI looks very strong. Moving up with volume dying off, you probably find resistance soon. Let's look at where you are. Relative high here to the relative low. Yeah, I bet you move up to your 618, 6.9 zone. You probably move up to $10, 10.50, find resistance there, pull back to about 8.40 or around where you are now, right? So a little bit of a move up, a little bit of a move down, find support, and then continue to move up. Yeah, I do think that Riot will break out of this range to the upside, this little consolidation phase. By the end of this year, we might even be doing it right now, right? How high will we be by the end of this year? That remains to be seen, right? Riot can definitely move up in a very short amount of time, but I am starting to wonder if we will see new relative highs to this by the end of the year. Certainly by the end of the cycle, I do expect it'll be above there, but the target areas of like $43 to $29 by the end of the year, I don't know if that's as likely anymore. Maybe sometime early next year in Q1 could be the case for Riot. We'll see, but it's got a lot of grounds to make up, right? So we'll know better by like November, December time, you know, what to expect out of this move. And of course, that's obvious, right? We'll know better by December if it's going to be at new relative highs by the end of the year or not. Of course, we'll know better. What I mean is just like as time goes on, one way or another, I'm expecting we move up here, okay? How fast are we going to go? We'll know better by the end of the year, by December, right? If we're already up here by December, well, cool. We know, cool. If not, that doesn't mean despair. That doesn't mean that this isn't going to happen. If we've only moved up here and it's by the end of the year, we're only at $16. I still believe we're going to go to $43 and higher for Riot. It's going to take more time than I originally expected, right? We have moved down. Riot has actually underperformed pretty hard versus most of these mining stocks, and it started to do so. It found its new lows, man. Right after I gave it belief, I had a little bit of hope for it on this month here in July, but I don't know. We'll see. This move could reinstill my hopes in it to be a top performer in the mining space. But anyways, that's all I got, you guys. That's all I got to say. I do think that they're all moving up essentially right now. They might find some turbulence over the coming days, over the coming weeks, but more or less overall, we're at a breakout point for most of these. At any given week now, if not right now. So patience. Load up. Buy your stock, hold your stock, and have a Merry Christmas. It's easy as that. So ho ho ho. I will see you guys on the next one. Good tidings to all, and to all a good evening. Hit that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.